Hello, beautiful souls. Whew. So today we are going to be doing a update on the collective emotional body coming online. So if you've got no idea what I'm talking about, hey Charlene, how you doing, love? Then go and check out that video that is on our feed all about the collective emotional body coming online. But to give you a brief overview, what this really is about is the step into six-dimensional consciousness for many of us. So as we are stepping into learning to see ourselves more as source, learning to embody more of ourselves as source, our systems are going to be up-leveling to respond to that. It's more a kind of, they are up-leveling to help us step into that. So it's more that way around. But what it basically means is that as we learn to become more conscious creators of our own reality, we are going to need more access to greater levels of information from ourselves as source to be able to make more informed decisions about the reality that we are creating. So that's why the collective emotional body has been coming online. Basically, what it's doing is opening up our channel, opening up our connection to ourselves as source to be able to receive more information. Hey, love. So that we can say, oh, okay, right, I've got this information. Now I'm going to utilize it. I'm going to work on it. And I'm going to move from there to be able to create the reality that I am desiring. But when it was coming online, it was a little bit messy. Obviously, because we are getting used to the new and our system is opening up and suddenly streaming in all of this information. A lot of it wasn't relevant for the here and now. Hey, love. So some of us might be feeling a little bit battered, a little bit bruised, a little bit confused, but the good news is this energy is beginning to stabilize. So we're going to be able to trust our emotional bodies a lot more moving forward. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview of the things that I learned during this process, and then I'm going to bring to the Galayla Collective to give you their version of events. So the key thing that I learned during this process is the power of present moment mastery, present moment alchemy. So I know some of you here have already done some of the 6D stuff. Morning, love. And are learning to understand that we are the conscious creators of our reality. When we become more aware of it, we are able to have much more creative control over what it is that we experience. And that comes from learning to listen to our system. So our system is constantly in communication with us. It utilizes our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies to constantly be giving us information that allow us to step into the next level of the life that we are desiring. It is always, always, always working with us. We have just forgotten how to use it. So, when it is giving you this information, it's very important that we learn and understand what to do with it, which is exactly what we teach you to do in our 60 Manifestation Accelerator and in our 60 Manifestation Group Program. But what can I give you in this moment that is going to help you now, even without that information? That is the power of present moment mastery. So, every single one of us has got the power to choose in any given moment how we feel and how we decide to respond to any situation that is coming in from the external world. What this actually is your multidimensional self inviting you into a deeper level of connection to yourself as source. That's actually what is happening. Our human self interprets it as attack, interprets it as this is not okay, we need to change this. You have the choice to choose. So let's say, for example, something happens to you. Somebody cuts you up in the road. It could be something really, really simple. You have the power to choose whether you allow that to disturb your inner peace and get really irate and suddenly go off on an inner monologue about how inconsiderate some people are and how awful things are. And all of a sudden, you are then putting out this negative energy out into the world. Remember, internal reality is what creates external world. And you've suddenly moved and shifted into this space of real deep discontent. You are not happy. And remember, in that moment, You are creating your reality. So how many times have you had a day that has started off like that and it's just got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse? Because actually what is happening is that you are creating from this place. You've allowed the external world to come in and disrupt your internal reality, which is where you are creating from. You have the choice in that moment when this bugger cuts you up. You have a choice to say, oh, this could be an element of my multidimensional self giving me an invitation to stop and breathe. And I've actually had this for moments before when somebody's actually cut me up and I might have been speeding a little bit, bit of a speedster. And actually what they've done is slowed me down, and then we've gone past a camera and it stopped me from getting a ticket. So if you are present and aware enough to recognize, oh, that actually really, really helped me out. Thanks, that was amazing. And you suddenly have this internal state of joy and bliss and connection and support. Oh, that happened for me. How amazing is that? All of a sudden, your internal world is suddenly uplifted, it's enlightened, it's enlivened, and you suddenly have this deeper connection to that love frequency, that source frequency that we talk about a lot. We sometimes call this power frequency as well. And all of a sudden, you are creating from that place of joy, from love, connection, which will then ripple out into your day and into the wider reality of what you are doing. But the power of this is in that present moment. It's in that choice that you have to say, I am going to choose to feel good here. Really, this is what creates our bigger manifestations. We build the momentum in the moment-to-moment mastery of choosing to feel amazing, of choosing to feel supported, of choosing to look at things from a different perspective. You have the power to change that. You. Not source energy, well, you are source energy, but for your human self to understand this, the universe isn't going to change that. Your spirit guides are not going to change that. Your crystals are not going to change that. The Reiki from your Reiki master isn't going to change that. You are going to change that. And when you decide to, that's when you step into that present moment mastery. You step and activate that divine masculinity, that sovereign human self that says, I am going to do this for me. That is self-love frequency, of choosing a better feeling place for the joy of feeling the better feeling place. That was a huge thing that I learned as my emotional body was really, really learning to stream in, was just streaming in a lot more information to me. Was, what do I do with this information? I have to choose to feel good about what is moving in. And it is a practice. I'm not talking about spiritual bypassing either. It's very, very different. You still have to allow yourself to feel the emotions. Oh, thank you. So there is a difference in bypassing an emotion and allowing yourself to feel it, witness it, understand why it is here and what it is trying to show you, and then thank your system for giving you that, but moving forward without holding on to the information, without holding on to the attachment of it. We move forward with that step into greater levels of power, greater levels of self-love, greater levels of that gorgeous connection to, I feel amazing now. So, let me bring to the Galayla Collective. I have a sneaky feeling that they have got a bit of an activation coming for you. And I know that they're going to use my vocal cords, so apologies if that comes through in a way that sounds icky. The sound doesn't really matter. It is much more about the level of energy that you are feeling. So, and for those of you that have not seen the channeling before, it can activate you because they are just source frequency kind of moving through, and about 20% of what you're hearing, what you're hearing is about 20% of what you are receiving. Most of it is just pure energy. So I'll see you on the other side. Hello, dear souls. present moment mastery. This is where the excitement begins. And the beautiful element of this is that anybody can step into this now without any prior information needed around that. Six-dimensional manifestation process, 4 dominant energies of universe. You do not need this information to step into present moment mastery. This is something your human can wrap its head around quite easily. I have the choice to choose in this moment how I feel. Now, if a part of you is triggered by this statement, then you are in unbalanced feminine energy, dear soul. You are very attached to victim consciousness, and we say this with our utmost love, and of course with knowledge that there is nothing wrong with this. You are simply a source energy experiencing itself in human form, and you are experiencing being in a victim consciousness, which is quite beautiful for source to experience. So nothing wrong with this, but if you are beginning to tire of being in the state that you are in, then know that you have the choice to choose. You have the choice to change how you are feeling. And now many of you will be saying, but my external world, my physical body, lots of these are things that are getting in the way of me feeling good. Dear souls, all are the illusion of separation. Every single piece of this. There is nothing in this world that will stop you from connecting to the truth and joy that you are source frequency. Because everything in this world is created from source frequency. In fact, most things that are causing you a great deal of pain, whether this is emotional, mental, spiritual, physical, are actually calling you back home to the truth that you are source. They are calling you in to this present moment mastery. Many times when people are so physically incapacitated by pain, their bodies, their systems are calling them into this present moment, peace and joy that exists in between the space of the breath. And so, breathe with us, dear souls. We will show you what we mean. Breathing deeply. In through nose. Out through mouth. In through nose. Out through mouth. In through nose. Out through mouth. This time, we are going to leave a little bit of space in between breaths. Now, we will do this at a rhythm that is comfortable for the girl. But in your own time, do practice it at rate and rhythm that is comfortable for you as individual. And so breathing in, through nose, hold the breath. Notice how the body responds to you holding the breath. And when you are ready, just after it is about comfortable, breathe out. And as you breathe in once more, dear souls, after withholding this breath, you notice how hungrily the body welcomes the new breath in. Notice how much more alive you feel as you allow this breath to fill the body. And notice how your body automatically breathes in without you needing to do much at all. Dear souls, you are always connected to the joy of all that you are, and it can be found in your breath. When you play with the breath's rhythm, when you play with the space in between the breathing, when you allow the human mind to quiet, you will find yourself as source in the space between your breaths. When you allow this to truly fill you up, you will experience a state of bliss that your human mind will not be able to fathom. And it will come in to remove you from this, because that is its job. Its job is to maintain the illusion of separation from source, so that you can experience the exquisite joy of returning to it. Much like when we breathe in again after withholding the breath, the joy of returning the breath to the body. Very enlivening, very ecstatic, is it not? This is much like the joy you experience when you return to yourself as source after a short time away. And notice, dear souls, the more that you practice this exercise, notice that eventually when you allow your mind's chatter to become still, the space in between breaths, where your body would normally be fighting to return the breath to the body, when you allow yourself to settle and relax, this space will open up even further, and your connection to source will grow even deeper, as you suddenly witness that your breath is no longer as needed, because you are maintaining source frequency and you are nourished energetically. All this breath really is physical, a representation of resourcing the self. But when you can resource yourself through source frequency, breath no longer is needed, because you are tapping in to pure, potent frequencies of love. And so, practice this as much as possible, dear souls. And in these moments, when as a girl was so beautifully expressing, when some what's it decides to cut you up on road, allowing yourself to breathe deeply and reconnect with yourself as source, to gain creative control over what it is you are experiencing in your reality at that time. Practicing this moment-to-moment mastery, dear souls, is what is going to open you up to this beautiful new connection to yourselves as source in this upgraded system of yours. Such magic awaiting you, dear souls, such magic. But remember, it is up to you to claim it. You cannot be waiting on universe to bring you this magic, dear souls. You are the universe. You are waiting on yourself. And so, time to take action. I'm sending you oodles of love, dear souls. Goodbye. Whew. Okay, so they didn't do the singy song thing, so that's good. Alright, so I hope you found that helpful. Let me know in the DMs if you did. Let me know whether you experienced anything magical while you were breathing in, whether you felt that connection to yourself as source, and whether breathwork is something that you play with quite regularly. But for now, sending you all oodles and oodles of love from me and the GC, of course. Hope you all have an amazing day, and I will speak to you soon.